Hello, and welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary for Monday, February the 29th, Leap Day. My name's Eric Wilkinson. Some of you may recognize me as the Wolfman from CNBC, Fox Business, or even the Wall Street Journal, where I've commented on everything from economic to geopolitical and market analysis. Please keep in mind that everything that we talk about in these market commentaries is not a solicitation to buy or sell any of these securities or strategies. At the end of the day, we're here to teach you some different strategies that you can implement into your own portfolios, but please do that in your own way. The reason why I can't give you a recommendation on a particular stock or strategy is because I don't know your risk parameters. I don't know what's in your portfolios. Therefore, what I'm doing could be counterintuitive to what you are already doing. Having that out of the way, let's get this on. There has been quite a bit of economic data come out here and across the pond, but most of it isn't really that pertinent to the overall market. We did have German import prices come in a little bit lower than expected. Core CPI flash estimate was 0.7 versus 0.9, so a little bit lower. And we also had pending home sales here in the United States come in much lower than expected, which was pretty surprising, at negative 2.5% versus a positive 0.6%. And Chicago PMI, which is Purchasing Managers Index, came in at 47.6, was expected 52.1. So not good on that front. Then we also have Dudley speaking, FOMC member Dudley speaking later on this afternoon. Overall markets are pushing higher. They did go dip into negative territory earlier on this morning, but as you can see here, the NASDAQ, E-mini NASDAQ /NQ is up about 21 points right now. And as for the E-mini S&P, as you can see, they are also in positive territory /ES by 7, almost 8 points for all intents and purposes. Here we have the E-mini S&Ps. As you can see off the open, we were testing the negative territory, but have slowly just kind of pushed higher for the most part, for the better part of the day. I've talked about this as a day trade. It has settled below this value area high. This value area is going to act as resistance. So one would, for a day trade, look to get short the E-mini S&Ps and cover maybe half of it right there at the point of control, and then cover the rest of it if it goes down and touches that value area low. All right, moving on to some trades that I've done. I put these trades on because we talked about this in the webinar on Friday. We did a webinar on iron butterflies. The one before that was iron condors, and it's a 3-part series. So this Friday, we're going to be doing on how you defend these strategies if they go against us. So I put on several occurrences thinking that maybe one or two of these will go against us. It hasn't happened yet, but we're looking for that to happen so that we have some good data for the Friday webinar. But having said that, with Oracle, I looked to put on I put on an iron butterfly in here, and I did the April 32, 37, 42 iron butterfly. So what I've done there is I bought the 32 puts for defined risk, sold the 37 puts, and then again sold the 37 calls, and then bought the 42 calls for to define that risk on that strategy. And I collected $2.47. So we talked about this in the webinar. We're looking to try and get about 50% of the width of those strikes. So in this Oracle, which is ticker symbol ORCL, we collected very close to 50% of the width. We did a $5 width strike, so the 32 puts and the 37 calls are 5 strikes away. We collected 50% of that, so it gives us about a 50-50 chance of success on that. And the nice thing about the iron butterfly is we're looking to manage this rather quickly, so if we can get about 25% the credit received, then that's where we're going to be looking to cover that strategy there. On to FXE, which is the ETF for the euro US dollar. And in this strategy, I did the April 100, 107, 114 iron butterfly, and it's the proper hand signal for that. And so in that, again, I bought the 100 puts, sold the 107 puts, sold the 107 calls. So I basically sold the straddle with defined risk, and then bought the 114 calls to define that other end of the butterfly. And I collected $3.19 for that. Again, we're doing about a $7 wide strategy. The legs are $7 and collected $3.19 for that. So pretty close to the 50% the width of those strikes. On to Mosaic, Mosaic, ticker symbol MOS. We did the April 19, 26, 33 iron butterfly and collected $3.32. So again, we bought the 19 puts, sold the 26 puts, then again sold the 26 calls and bought the 33 calls for defining that risk. So we're looking for it to stay rather close within $3 where we put this strategy on. As you can see, the market has pushed it slightly higher since I put this on, but we're still looking for it to stay rather range bound. I'd like to see it stay within 29 on the upper band and 23 on the lower band, because that's where my break evens are in a sense. So that's what we're looking for that trade for Mosaic. And then finally, in NFLX was the one that one of the participants in that webinar came up with, and I was looking at several different ones, and I always ask for a little bit of back and forth in these webinars, and somebody said, hey, let's check out NFLX, it looks like it fits your rules, and sure enough, lo and behold, it did. So I ended up putting on this one from a suggestion from one of the people in that webinar. So NFLX, ticker symbol NFLX, we did the April 65, 95, 125 iron butterfly, and I collected $14.89 for that strategy, and so that was right around that 50% the width. So we did about a 30 tick wide, really wide iron butterfly, and collected $14.89, so right around that $15. So it's not always going to line up exactly right, but generally speaking, we can get it rather close, within a couple of pennies of that 50%. So that's really what we're looking for that one. All right, so if you didn't see that webinar on Pro Trader Strategies for the Iron Butterfly, you can go to that protraderstrategies.com, get the Iron Condor, get the Iron Butterfly, and hopefully you can sign up and get ready for how we defend these strategies when they go against us. All right, that's all I got for you guys today, other than if you can't take that, take it easy.